Hey guys, it's Gamby5874, and today we're going to be slaying shadow creatures. Now, to get assigned this task, you have to get it from Morvran, which means you have to have access to Prifddinas. I won't go over all those requirements, but he requires 85 Slayer to get tasks from. Once you have access to them, you can get shadow creatures whenever, because they only require level 1 Slayer to actually get assigned. There are three versions of these that you can fight. There are Truthful Shadows, which are the lowest level, Blissful Shadows, which are the kind of middle ground, and then Manifest Shadows, which are the highest level, and they also give 930 experience. So, for the sake of this guide, we're only going to be doing Manifest Shadows since they give, buttloads of experience, and that's really why we do this task. Now, no matter which of the three you kill, they're all weak to fire spells. So if you are lower level, then just go to one of those lower ones. But all the gear and setup should essentially be the same, unless you want to downscale or upscale it. Speaking of gear, I'm going with Gano, which is about 1.5 mil. I rounded up, depending on when you watch this or how much it is. It might be lower or higher. It's just overall good magic attack, good defense. They do hit pretty hard if you're fighting the Manifest Shadows, so you'll want that defense in there. And I'm using a Staff of Light, which is only about 150k, shouldn't be a problem to get. And it does save you a bit of money on runes. You could use a Gano Staff, but recently I've been preferring the Staff of Light, and I don't use the Polypore Strike, so that should be good enough. Anything else, really, it just kind of depends on what you have and what you want to bring. I personally bring penance because they do hit a lot. That means I do a whole task of this really without any prayer potions. You can see in my inventory I just have my runes, alch runes, and rocktail. This is because penance keeps me at a pretty good slayer or prayer level, so I just keep soul split on. If you don't have penance, you can use vampirism. If you have it, that'll save you some food, but you'll still need more prayer potions, kind of replace food for prayer pots. And then you could bring magic pots or the Vecna skull. I brought the Vecna skull, but I forgot that you could get buffed from the Kadarn or Kadarn, however you pronounce it, district's book thing where you could swap your prayers and spells. You can do that, and then they'll give you about a 4-level prayer magic boost depending on your magic level, probably. I went from 93 to 97, so that gave me access to the highest level fire strike. And that's what I use to kill them. And they're located in the Amlot district, so if you do want to go back and forth to pray, you do have to cross the middle bounds. But essentially, you could do this task with no food or gear, because you pass the bank, reheal yourself with the bank aura or whatever, and then go restore prayer from the Kadarn district's spell book. Now, as far as praying, you're, like I said earlier, you're just gonna want to use Soul Split if you have access to curses. I highly recommend getting access to it because they do hit high. I assume Protect Melee might save you a bit from that, but really Soul Split's your best bet here. And with your inventory, you either want prayer potions or, like I said, penance aura seem to work really well for me. I don't need a single prayer pot, and Soul Split keeps me up, so I don't really use all that much food. Notable drops, really. If you come during the Voice of Saren, you have an option. They spawn Chronicle Fragments, which, like in Divination, they just come out. You could collect them. It's not too great, and they also drop shadow cores depending on the shadow you're fighting. Either requires 71, 81, or 91 divination, and then you just click the center to turn them in. I'm currently 90 divination, so I'm just saving all my cores for when I hit 91. They have about 70% chance to drop any charm, and between those drops, it'll be about 50%. It'll be crimsons or blues, so it's a pretty decent charm ratio, but it's not all that much. You have a chance of getting a pet if you're one of those pet guys. Dark soul, mind, body parts will drop from each of the shadows respectively. I think it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance, so don't expect those anytime soon. And other than that, I mean, like natted Addy ore is probably the best thing you'll get, as well as elite clues and effigies. So you're not going to be getting much money from this task. It's decent, like hybrid divination experience, and you might get lucky on an elite clue scroll. And besides that, you just fight and kill them. There's a little section in the northeast where you'll see me killing most of the time, where it has 3 manifest shadows, and then usually if you kill them fast enough, you'll just have a period of a few seconds where none are spawned. You can either use that time to loot the drops or head to the southeast area past the bridge, and there's 1 extra manifest shadow spawn right there. But overall, it's a pretty simple task. It doesn't take too long, especially if you have access to, like Soul Split and the Fire Surge. I think that's the highest level fire attack. And, pretty decent gear. I think I got assigned like 80 something, or like the upper 70s. I got 1 elite clue scroll, and that's about it. I didn't get much money, some charms. But like I said, this task is pretty much only about the experience you're going to be getting and not the money you'll be making. But it's easy enough. I would suggest doing them. They're not too bad, pretty enjoyable. They do hit hard, so if you have lower defense and not a lot of food, you might have to find yourself banking a couple times. But the bank's like a few steps away from the area, so it's super convenient. Well, that's about it with this task. I hope it helped you guys out, and comment, rate, subscribe if it did, and I'll see you in my next video.